Hey, this is Notser, and we're going to talk about smoke. The current meta is frustrating, and I just want to run through a game that had very focused strategy that I tried to employ and counter strategy to the enemy's goal. And you might notice what the enemy's goal is already if you take a look at their division. 2 Atlantas and a Belfast. So they're going to have the Belfast smoke, and they're going to stack 3 radars. Pretty simple. They also have hydroacoustic. So torpedoes are going to have limited success, but because it's a full division, it's going to be difficult for all of them to hide comfortably in the smoke. In my position, how do I make use of smoke? Well, obviously I'm a DD. I go towards B point, and I'm looking for how close could these guys really be. You know, if I see one Atlanta, I've seen them all. All of these division mates, they all spawn near each other. It's on my mind. Thankfully, on this particular map, there's not really a close island that can radar effectively at B. They have to get a little bit closer than they probably want to. And oh, did you see that? We have spotted our enemy division. Now, one of the tools that I love to use against smoke is a torpedo spread. And obviously, this is well known. You send it towards it, you deal with it. How do you deal with a target sending torpedoes towards you? You know, if I was the Atlanta and the Belfast, how would I approach this? Well, I wouldn't set up on the outside of an island. This is a very bold strategy. You're going to attract shots and torpedoes. Scout aircraft is incredibly powerful at pinpointing your exact location and punishing you. I'm sure the British cruisers all are very aware of this. So don't set up on the outside of an island. Set up on the inside so you have solid cover coupled with smoke. That's the best option. If I wanted to use smoke, I would only reserve it for when I'm guaranteeing that these guys are not in range, which I was clearly disengaging from them. They're the only radar ships on the map. I don't want to be within 10 kilometers of them, but I am just barely in torpedo range. That's a great tool. And I never needed to smoke B point because none of the enemies went this way. We had confirmation of a couple DD spotted on other sides of the map, and if they wanted to go this way, it would have been keeping B point contested, and smoking is a tool for the enemy far more than it should be, personally. The meta has just shifted so far away from smoke being something that is just a godsend to, honestly, it's a handicap. It tells the enemy exactly where you are, and if they're good, they will converge and punish you. 100%. That's all I look to do. When I see a potential smoke cloud, I consider, do I have radar? Do I have enough DPS to kill the target in smoke? If I say yes, oh, I'm about to go. You go off on them. Enemy's going to do the exact same thing to you. Radar ships are so bold right now, they will rush you down. They don't care that they're taking fire from everyone else. If they can kill you, they will kill you. So don't openly smoke. You need to be more subtle about this. It's got to be low key, okay? It's like real life too. Just treat it as a disengage tool. Sparingly use it. It's not going to be the be-all, end-all. You're not going to camp and smoke for 2 minutes anymore. That's dead. That's gone. Forever. Or until they change it. But for now, a couple Atlantas want to get in the Gajimata smoke. Gajimata smoke is incredibly powerful with its duration, but it's also attracting attention. If friendlies could openly fire, we got a friendly Belfast, he can drop his own smoke, but he can also radar. So there could be a back and forth, and when I was moving in this position, I don't want to be caught in between the back and forth, so I'm going to make sure that there's at least some solid cover. The solid cover should protect me. If I ever want to move close to a radar ship, I want to try and consider, have they used radar? When have they used radar? Do they have radar? Try and communicate that to your team. That's a great tool that honestly should be baked in the game right now. Calling out when you're radared or when you've used radar so they can consider, is this a good time to go? And Unfortunately, right now, there's nothing that says if you're under radar. There's no icon overhead. Hopefully in the future there will be, but there isn't right now. And boy, this Gajamata, he ran Oh, by the way, listen to these guns. It sounds like a battleship's firing, right? It's the weirdest bug. I love it. Wargaming. Accidentally have more bugs. And ooh, we got radar. No need to drop smoke. Don't panic, smoke. I see so many players who are under radar effect drop their smoke. No, that does not stop it. That only exacerbates it, because now you're hoping that you can stay stationary. When you're going up against something as cheesy as two Atlantas and a Belfast, there is no stopping the radar. There's only moving away from it. So I was like, you know, we're not doing too bad. It's not the end of the world. But I don't want anything to do with C point. I want to go towards A point. With my teammates, maybe we can make something happen. Notice I still haven't used smoke. When could I? I didn't need to do it for B point. I tried to stay close enough that I could torpedo the enemy smoke multiple times. If I were to smoke in that situation, it would be a red flag to the enemy. There is an enemy, DD, or British cruiser, that is setting up shop here. Why don't we use our radar? It's a really bad tool to use when you know there's a radar ship close by. Right? Best to just leave it to the experts, which is the battleships. They will deal with those cruisers. You deal with everything else. You make the battleship's life better. You screen for possible torpedoes. We actually caught sight of the Gajamata's deep water torpedoes. Did it save the team completely from taking damage? Well, no, but it's going to mitigate some of it. But the last thing you ever want to do is tell the enemy team, I am here, come at me. You're not going to succeed with that. Not at all. So we're headed over to A. We could potentially smoke out the battleships. If you smoke a friendly battleship, keep in mind, when they fire, it's going to be as if smoke doesn't exist. So use it sparingly on battleships, honestly. Probably better to use it more on cruisers and friendly destroyers. Obviously, if you're in comms with the battleship, you should be able to coordinate that you're not going to fire. But generally speaking, battleships are the worst target to smoke out. They just can't help themselves. And we're going to use our battleship guns against the Libereichtmaß. And notice he's trying to smoke. German plan, smoke, use hydroacoustic, detect the targets while fully concealed in smoke. Well, the problem is, if you're out in the open with, I don't know, a battleship that has, you know, maybe hydroacoustic or just the ability to see you out, it smokes bad. It smokes real bad. And we got him. We dealt with it. Maybe he sent torpedoes. I don't know. I got to help my team. I don't have to deal with radar here, so I'm really happy. And I'm going to try and come around this corner as quick as I can. Looks like they're trying to deal with the Omaha. Omaha is dead to secondaries. Nice. Enemy Gneisenau now. He has torpedoes. Got to consider that. I can freely fire from the enemy smoke. Make use of that if you ever get a situation, you know. Why waste your own smoke when you can make use of an enemy who happened to just drop it? And that's another thing to consider. I have seen so many scenarios where enemy tries to drop smoke. He dies. The smoke then becomes a tool for the killer. And now the teammates have to deal with that. So I was able to maneuver myself in a position where point blank torpedo, we do miss. We still have another set. Clearly he's a Gneisenau now, so he's going to send his set, and I'm going to try and turn inside before it activates. He's still alive, but my guns traverse a lot quicker than his. So I'm just going to get it on target, and we're going to shove one right in the butt. Ah, yes. Great big battleship destroyer guns going off. And this enemy, Julius Caesar, takes torpedoes. Fantastic. Great job fending in his Scharnhorst. He loves his Scharnhorst. I love it too. Scharnhorst is a great ship. But still haven't used a single smoke. Now, we made use of an enemy smoke, and that's about the only time that I could really have dealt with that. I could have camped in the smoke longer, but I felt like I gotta try and make it a 2 versus 2, not a 2 versus 1. And that's a little bit of a risk taking, but it worked out. So now we capture this point. We can move over towards C Point. There's still an enemy Atlanta and a Belfast, which we know what they want to do. But you've pretty much seen almost every scenario, which was very hilarious at the time, of smoke. You can't use it the same way that you once did. You can't go to an objective, feel like you can capture it, try and deny enemy line of sight, and pop smoke so you can continue to capture the base. That just doesn't work anymore. Instead, can I freely take this with nobody in line of sight? Yes, no. If it's a yes, stay there, as long as it needs to. If it's a no, bail, bail, bail. Get the hell out of there. That smoke was never going to save you. It never will save you in the current meta. And move on with your life. Maybe in 2 to 3 minutes you can go back and capture that base. So that's how I approach the initial stages of the game, considering smoke. And if I'm given the chance, of course, I'm going to torpedo into smoke. That's a great tool that's always been there. If you've got a scout aircraft and you see a stationary target, well, that's their problem. And if you absolutely must use smoke openly with an enemy wanting to fire on you, do not stay stationary. Try and move the ship and also change the angle that the ship is at. And I usually play with my accelerator. I go plus a fourth to reverse full. That's about the same speed, plus or minus, and it allows me a pretty good degree of movement without moving out of smoke completely. And you need to play with it a lot. Also, solid cover. I always like to do my DDs and my British cruisers now as if I'm playing my Des Moines, or my Baltimore, or my Cleveland, or my Worcester. Solid cover. Confirm solid cover. Do I have a shot on the enemy? Am I in line of sight? Yes, no. If I'm in line of sight, obviously I change the way I play. But if I'm not, I keep going. If you smoke, smoke with solid cover combined. If you're a British cruiser and you're just trying to make it work, you've got to be very cautious. Solid cover. I can't stress this enough. Play it exactly like the American cruisers. Solid cover. Enemy Atlanta, trying to get solid cover. Unfortunately for him, he's a little low, and I've got a shot on him, so I'm going to take it. Now, I did confirm that the island was blocking line of sight. Of course, I'm going to fire with my Battleship DD guns, and we're going to try and wear him down. Now, he had the right idea, but it was too extended for my position. Maybe for the friendly battleship, it was better, but for me, it was not. And he's still alive. Of course, he's still alive. Notice that his friendly Belfast smoked out in the open at C Point. My friendly Belfast is going to push forward. It's like sharks feasting on food. The radar ships, they just move in. They have no mercy. They will take your DD out. Hardcore. And that's why smoking kills. I couldn't pass it up, right? It's such a weird meta right now. A year ago, tier 7 ranked battles, smoke everywhere. Now, you can't buy smoke. Smoking is killing players because radar ships are moving in and just wiping people out. The enemy Belfast, he wasn't going to be successful in that. He just dead. Nothing he could do. And that felt really good, knowing full well that there were 2 Atlantas and a Belfast. We all knew what they wanted to do. They want to camp and smoke, and they want to counter smokers, any DD that happens to stray too close. But it worked out pretty well. Worked out very well for us. Not for them, of course. So, hope you enjoyed seeing the Shiratsuyu game. Hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll catch you next time.